Hi everyone, welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. Mike here, and I'm building another rabbit cage because, like a knucklehead, I got distracted while I was building the last one, and the cage, the wire, this is at 1x2 or 1/2x1 or something like that. I can't remember what the diameter of it is, or the measurements of it are. But the floor is a closer knit weave. And here, I'll show you this. You're just going to have to, this is supposed to be the floor, and this is the size of the top and the sides. And like a knucklehead, I everything in place and put the cage door on, done all that, cut out for the feeder and stuff. And daggone if I didn't put the freaking floor on the roof where the roof is supposed to go and the roof where the floor is supposed to go. I already have the wall side cut out. So what I have to do is, and I'll have to look at this, and it's probably just going to be easier, I'll have to take the entire top and the bottom off and swap them, because, or at least take the whole front off and redo all that because of where I've already got the feeder and stuff. That actually may be the easier thing to do. I'll have to take a peek at that, but I screwed up. So, because we moved the bunnies, we got it hung up in there and everything like that, and got it all situated, and we moved the bunnies, the grow outs, over into it, and their little feet are going through the holes of the floor, and I went, son of a gun. So, anyway, so I'm building another one right now. Another thing I did is, because I've got some brush to clear down here where we're going to be putting in the new paddock for the pigs, and I went ahead and bought this product, and I don't know if you can see that's backwards in this. This is called, it's a Forester brand. It's a brush cutter, and it's got little chainsaw teeth on it. And that thing, I'll tell you what, it's pretty daggone heavy for the package that it comes in, but I got this off of Amazon. It comes pretty highly rated. They have a 7-inch and a 9-inch, and I figured I'd probably go with the 7-inch first, because of course, you know, the bigger diameter you get, the slower you're going to have, slower RPM you're going to have. And I have a Stihl FS111R, and it does everything I need it to do. And I think the blade that I have on it now, I think it's maybe a 9-inch blade, but it's just a real small, close-knit sawtooth pattern, where this has the little chainsaw teeth on it, the carbide tip chainsaw teeth, and you can actually sharpen this. That other one, if you took it in there, I think that thing's got 80 teeth on it, maybe even more, and it has to be professionally sharpened. So this I can do right here. So I got this. I'm going to put this on my Stihl when I get down over the hill there and I get into that brush, because there is a bunch of autumn olive down there, and I mean, it's everywhere from as big as my pinky to as big as my arm around, and even bigger in some places. But I'm going to try that and see how that works out, and I'll let you guys know, because this actually wasn't a bad price at all. So we'll give it a try, and like I said, it's got some pretty good reviews on it. Now, I'm going to cover a couple things here while I do this. I am going to try my best to multitask this time. So, new subscribers, thank you guys very much. I'm glad you found us. Subscriptions went up, more than 20 people in the last week or so. So I appreciate that, I really do. But you know, there's some people putting some comments on there, and I know you're going to deal with the public all the time. And I understand that. Not everybody's going to agree with me. I don't want everybody to agree with me. How boring would that be? But people, I'm not addressing everyone, but there are certain people, they don't listen. They hear, but they don't listen. So, and it's just like people who read things, especially like on social media platforms, they read things, but they don't comprehend what they're reading. They hear a word or they see a word and it triggers them, and they automatically just lash out. You're some kind of phobic, some kind of whatever, and all this other stuff. Okay. And I haven't got that yet, surprisingly, on that video, those 2 videos from Tractor Supply. And I'm not going to cover this topic again. I'm done with it. There's no reason for me to sit here and beat a dead horse. I am not responsible for what happened, nor do I support or condone what happened. Even though in my original video, I chose not to get on a social media platform and just put them on blast. I didn't want to do that, because I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. That's probably one of my downfalls, is I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt to start off with, and then, you know, until something comes along to prove me wrong. And that's what I did. I said, you know, before everybody jumps on the bandwagon because so-and-so said this, you know, we're going to just go on blast until you actually have physical proof of it. And that's what I did. I sent an email. They said, this is what happened. Hey, who am I to say otherwise, because I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. So when the new evidence come out and it showed it, hey, I put up another video. I said, hey, look, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. So this is where I stand. And I am done with Tractor Supply. Do not patronize them. I've still yet, when I sent my first email, in less than 24 hours, I got a response. It's been 4 or 5 days now, and I have no response at all. So that doesn't surprise me now at this point, because I wasn't, I don't know. It was a lot more involved in this email. I wasn't accusing. I was just saying, if this is true and based on this evidence, you should separate or, distance yourself from the ESG, which is, what is it? Environmental, social, corporate governance, and it's voluntary. And there's a whole mess in that. Like I said, you guys need to read on that. And then as far as, just being completely out of line with a lot of the stuff that's happened, and they've just continued to let it go and not come out publicly said anything. So anyways, that is it. It's done. I'm done with Tractor Supply. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start telling folks, and I'm just going to lay this out there, okay? I hate this. I hate this more than anything. People bash Christians all the time. And I've told you guys on all my videos where I've even touched on this subject, look, I have no affiliation with any particular church. I'm not Methodist. I'm not Baptist. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not Catholic. I'm not this. I'm not that. I have my own personal relationship with God. And the reason for that is I grew up Apostolic, Pentecostal, Nazarene, even a little bit of Methodist thrown in there. So, there's been a lot of different churches I've been affiliated with. And basically it was based more on the people, the minister versus, the affiliation, whether it be national or independent or what. And in every church, except for two, I'll say two, but I was too young at that point in time to understand that. But it all comes back down to the almighty dollar. And I've seen too much. I've learned too much over the years, or I've learned enough over the years and experienced enough to say that, organized religion today, and now here, let's separate this. Religion versus spirituality, okay? I have my own personal relationship with Jesus and God. I pray. I believe in the Bible, but I think we all get different messages from the passages, from the verses. We get different messages. If we all got the same message from the Bible, there wouldn't be different affiliations. There wouldn't be Methodist, Baptist, Pentecostal, Apostolic, Nazarene, Episcopal. There wouldn't be none of that stuff. Man has made these different sects. S-E-C-T-S. Not, okay. I got my tooth back, but just, anyways. So, when you look at that stuff and think about some of the phrases that we hear, chaining the Bible to the pulpit, where they actually did that back in the day. They actually chained the Bible to the pulpit so people couldn't get their hands on the Bible, take the Bible, and learn from it themselves. The old circuit riders in Appalachia, way back in the 1800s and in turn of the century and stuff like that, these were preachers who would ride horseback from one community to the other in the mountains. And most of these guys were barely literate at best. They knew enough to be able to read the Bible, and they were coming into areas and communities in the mountains and in the hollows and stuff like that where people weren't literate. They were not literate, so they couldn't read the Bible, or they maybe could read just a little bit. And most of these guys, and there's history, there's absolute 100% positive history on this, was that they would just get to drinking. These ministers were these preachers, and they couldn't accept money for their service. They couldn't accept money. They could accept food, board, room and board, and alcohol. And they would, a lot of these big revivals, these big tent revivals and stuff that they would have in the mountains and everything like that, usually that preacher was 3 sheets to the wind, and they taught the Bible just based on their little bit of literacy, what little bit of literacy they had, and they also would just get those fiery sermons going based on the level of alcohol that was in their bloodstream. And that's truth. That is absolute truth. You can believe as you read your daggone history, that is truth, okay? But what I'm getting tired of is people making comments on here that I should read the Bible, I should become more acquainted with the Bible, I should do this, I should do that. Why? To be as big a hypocrite as you? Why in the hell would I want to be like that? I believe all people are supposed to be treated as humans. And I'm going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until you prove me wrong. And then once you prove me wrong, I'm just going to walk away from you. I'm just not going to affiliate myself with you. I'm not going to stand back and demean or harass you. Can I be a butthole? Oh boy, you really have no idea. I can be a butthole. I can burn your ears. I can weave a tapestry of filth that'll cover up most of this freaking hall. Believe me. But I choose not to be like it anymore. I'm 51 years old. I'm trying to set a better precedent, a better, image for my kids. And I'm just trying to be a better person all the time. That's all I want to do is just be a better person today than I was yesterday. But, some people are out there are just hell-bent, and I'm going to use it like that. They're hell-bent on being judgmental and using the Bible as a weapon rather than as something to look at and derive maybe a little bit of grace and humility from. So, please, and I understand we're supposed to help each other, and I understand that we're supposed to share the word with others. That's what we're meant to do. But you guys, there's some of y'all that need to understand that Jesus or God has already made the judgment on people. It's not your place to enforce that. And I see a lot of that. I see a lot of that anymore. It is your place to follow the teachings of the Bible, be a good person, be a better person, and stop being so daggone judgmental. Adults we have free will. That's the best thing about all this. We can choose to or not. That's the best thing. We have that free will. When adults choose or adults live a lifestyle that you don't agree with, it's not your place to judge. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. And we live in a society now that is so egocentric, so self-serving, so immediately self-gratifying, that people are just buttholes anymore. They truly are. We went out this morning. We did all of our shopping and stuff. We did Harbor Freight, Walmart, Sam's, Menards, Rural King, and then I had to run freaking back to Walmart, which I really didn't want to do, but I did anyways. And of course, it's just a couple weeks before Christmas, and everybody's out. People are so oblivious to each other. They really are. The only thing that they do is look for people who get in their way so they can just be mean and say something about it. Nobody seems to be paying attention to the old folks who may need help getting their groceries loaded or getting something loaded in their car. Nobody seems to just have any patience for the old person shuffling down the aisle, pushing their buggy, trying to remember what they need. Nobody just wants to stop and say, hey, can I help you with something? Look, man, you ain't got to be a saint, but you got to be a damn human. Come on. Seriously, people, we got to do better. I mean, honest to God, the homesteading lifestyle, the rural lifestyle, it doesn't separate us from anybody else. We have to be human. We have to do better. Okay? Are we judgmental? Absolutely. 100% I am judgmental. I'm just as bad, if not worse than everybody else on some things. Okay? I think this society is freaking terrible. I'm the Gen X. I'm Generation X. You know what I mean? I was raised independent. We were able to cook for ourselves by like 9 or 10 years old. Even though mom had a dinner or breakfast for us every day, and my mom worked in the coal mines, and my stepdad was a coal miner, and we were independent. We played outside. You couldn't keep us in the house. You wanted to, and this was the thing growing up. My mom could whoop my butt for being bad. And I would gladly take that butt whipping no matter how bad it hurt, because that meant I could get my ass out that door and go back playing or riding my bicycle or playing Army or just being outside with my friends. And she learned that. And the way that I got punished after that was getting grounded. And I hated that. That's like caging a daggone animal. And we don't see that anymore. People are just, they're just, you don't see that. Not to the scale that it was back then. But society has just fallen down. It is so just terrible anymore. And people are just so focused on themselves that we just don't look around our surroundings. We don't look at other people. And then you've got the people who really don't care anymore, and they're showing up in their fuzzy little pajama pants and their slippers. And, you do you. That's fine. You do you. That's fine. Like I said. But one of my pet peeves is when you look like Crayola puked all over your head. Pick a freaking hair color, Rainbow Bright. That's all I got to say. Pick a freaking color. And regardless of whether you do finally pick a color, there are some shades that are very beautiful. There's other shades that, wow, I want to just like pour something on your head to put it out because it's too bright. Okay? That's just me. But if you need help, I'll help you. If you need help loading your groceries, if you know, I'm probably the guy in line behind you that if you fell short on your money and buying food and stuff like that, that I would just go ahead and pay for it. That's the kind of person I am. But that don't mean I can't look at you and say, you know what, that color green, it just doesn't fit your head. It just really doesn't. It just completely offsets your eyes. But we need to stop being such buttholes. I mean, at what point did we become like that? Nobody seems to translate or portray those values in public anymore. They just don't, and that's my own opinion, my own observations. So, and yes, my anxiety levels go up when I get out like that around people. Like today, I mean, I got agitated as hell today with all the stores and stuff that we were in, with all the people in. It's not that I have a mental illness. I just don't like being around a bunch of people, and especially don't like being around a bunch of people in a crowded ass place when everybody's hustle bustle and I got other things to do, and I'm getting held up. So that's, anyways, we have got to do better. So listen, before you want to make a comment, and you can do what you want to, you're free to do that. You're free to do that. But understand that I'm free to reply to you as well. But because I want to be somebody who's just going to let people be who they are, be a human, don't do this. Don't harm kids, don't harm old folks, and don't harm animals. Okay? Those three things right there are the best. That's the best advice I can tell you. And just be humans to other people. But old folks, kids, and animals depend on us to take care of them. They depend on us to help take care of them. And when you break that trust, and when you take that trust for granted, and you do something malicious like that, that is when you fall off of the list of people who deserve to breathe the same oxygen that I do. Now, I'm being judgmental. But anyways, we got to do better. Christmas is coming up, whether you celebrate Christmas, whether you believe in this or believe in that, I don't care. That's up to you. I can't do anything to change your mind. I am not the one, unless God decides that I'm the one that's going to be the messenger. I can't do anything to change your mind. I've talked to folks. Folks have talked to me, trying to convince me, trying to sway me. Listen, it's what I grew up with. So that's you. But anyways, please don't be a butthole. Don't use your opinion or your understandings of the Bible as a weapon against other people, and especially to try to demean other folks. That's it. I got a rabbit cage to build. Folks, get prepared, stay prepared. Take care. God bless.